So today is Sunday, and this past Tuesday, I made the decision to quit coffee. And I wanted to document this because I think the reason why I did it and why I'm going to continue to do it is a little different than some of the stuff that you've probably heard online. So just stick around. If you're in that sort of state of mind where you're thinking about quitting coffee, I want to explain to you where I'm coming from, because literally as of Monday of last week, ask anyone in my life, I was nowhere near capable of quitting coffee. I didn't even want to be completely honest. When I went into the reason why I quit coffee, you'll see it was kind of just a fluke thing that has changed my viewpoint on this entirely. So just to give a little bit of background before I go into why and all of that stuff, I have been pathetically a degenerate coffee drinker. It's the only way I could really describe it. And when I say that, I mean, not only was I drinking like a couple cups a day or anything like that, I was drinking 4 shots of espresso every single day, which, if those of you guys know, that's just around 400 milligrams, which is the FDA's limit for the day of how much coffee you could drink. I drink that usually in one sitting, or sometimes I would span that out. It just ultimately depended. But literally as of a few weeks ago, I was nowhere near the idea of quitting at all. I was telling my girlfriend recently, because I have acid reflux, I was telling her recently that I was like, that's my one vice. Coffee is my one vice. And she would always say, like, you need to quit coffee. It's going to make you feel better, all of that stuff. And I was like, no, that is the one thing I will never give up. I'll do everything else, but that is the one thing I won't give up. So if that is to say anything, that's where I was coming from. And I had been that way for, God, it had to have been 10 years, maybe over, since high school. I would go to Dunkin' on my way to work and get a coffee. On my way to school and get a coffee. So this has been a thing for 10 years where I was just drinking it every single day. And I saw no real problem with it. In retrospect, I realized I wasn't getting good sleep at all, and it made me very anxious, and it made my acid reflux worse. Regardless, none of those reasons were the reasons I decided to quit coffee last week. The funny reason I decided to do so is because, you know how I said I drink 4 shots of espresso every day? Most of the time that was in Starbucks' brown sugar shaken espresso, or it was in the new iced horchata shaken espresso, if that's how you pronounce it, from Starbucks, which, if you've drank them, you know how sugary they are. It wasn't until probably last week at some point in time where I was talking to people in my family that, as you could probably see, I'm a relatively skinny person, but I have a strip of visceral fat around my stomach in my love handle region that I cannot shake for no reason at all. I go to the gym 6 days a week. I walk almost usually around 15 to 20,000 steps a day because I live in New York City. So I'm always active. I'm always on the move, but I can't get rid of this visceral fat strip, at all. So I was talking to my girlfriend and my family about it, and they were like, oh, well, maybe your cortisol's high. So I decided to go down a rabbit hole of what that even means, because I didn't know what that meant. And I discovered that essentially means that, you know, if you're drinking things like coffee and you're stressed and you're not getting good sleep, your cortisol levels could go really high, and the visceral fat on your body can potentially stay, because even though you're doing the right things, it's going to stick around because your cortisol is high. So I was like, okay, when I read that, I was like, well, the obvious thing is I need to cut out those sugary lattes that I drink every single day, but I don't want to because I love coffee so much. So I was like, you know what? Let me try to quit it, not for the sake of quitting coffee at all, but for the sake of quitting the sugary elements of coffee. My goal with this was to give it up for like a week, and I knew it was going to be pretty tough. I was going to try to give it up for a week just so I could slowly phase back into drinking coffee when with cutting out sugar. So my goal was to quit cold turkey, and then from there go back into directing or putting coffee back into my body. I don't know why I couldn't get that out. Putting coffee back into my body slowly, but without sugar. So maybe instead of a brown sugar shaken espresso, I would just drink an iced shaken espresso with unsweetened almond milk, or I would drink just an Americano. You know what I mean? So no sugar at all, just the coffee and either a fat source or water. But then when I actually started to do the quitting, again now, I quit Tuesday of last week, today's Sunday, so it's not quite a full week. It's like, what, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's 5 days. I gotta tell you, in these 5 days alone, yes, it wasn't exactly easy at first, but my sleep improved so much. My acid reflux went away, and after the 3 days of really bad headaches, which is a thing, and that does happen, I started to really see the benefits of this and think I could do this more on a, oh, I'm going to quit coffee thing than just, I'm going to quit the sugary elements of it. I don't know where this is going to go, but I wanted to document this and maybe make this a little channel and talk about this because I think it's important. Coming from the degenerate status I was last Monday to now is crazy, and I didn't even think I'd get here, but one little thing changed my mind, and that was the cortisol levels. So I was like, let me try it. Now I'm trying it, and I see all the benefits, and I've been doing YouTube rabbit holes after doing this. So like today and yesterday, I've been watching videos on YouTube of people explaining how they felt after, and it's crazy because I see all the benefits that before I was like, yeah, even though those are things, I don't ever want to do that. I like my coffee. That's my one vice. I'm going to do it. But now that I've taken some time off of drinking coffee, and I know I still have a ways to go before, like, I fully get it out of my mind, but now that I'm on the other side a little bit, I'm like, holy shit, that was a drug. That was like a bad drug. And I'd quit nicotine before. I got to tell you, nicotine was easier for me than coffee was. And that's because I didn't use nicotine for so long. I only used it for a relatively short period of time and in the form of pouches and things like that. So compared to that, to this, where I've been drinking it every single day for 10 years just to stay afloat, I'm realizing that my normal self was myself on drugs. And I don't like that. And I want to be more in control of my body. And these are all things I'm realizing now after quitting this past week and all of that stuff. So yeah, I mean, this is not a smooth road. I'm making it all sound positive. I will say there are heavy withdrawal symptoms if you're addicted to coffee like me. The headaches were awful. I was miserable for 3 days. Like, that was all true. And that didn't even happen when I had quit nicotine. So I never had withdrawals like this. They were not fun whatsoever. And though those headaches went away and I'm feeling better and my sleep is improved, there is still that underlying mentality in my head where I feel like I need to fill the void and something is missing because I've been used to the ritual of drinking coffee every single day. And now that that's not there, I feel like I'm lacking that ritual and I'm lacking that dopamine because I am, and I need to reset my body. But that's okay, and I'm up for that challenge. And if that's the worst that it is going forward, I think that's easy to get through. I feel strong-willed enough to continue going. And yeah, I'm making this video to document it for me, but I'm also making this to tell you that if you were like me and you were a big coffee freak, you can get over it. And maybe something like the cortisol levels or the acid reflux or something like that can be that little thing that'll just get you to think, oh, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Now, I don't know if I'm going to do this forever. I don't know what this is going to entail, but I'm going to document it because I think it's important to talk about this. And I think for me, it's important to be in control of my body. So I want to stay accountable by making videos. And if it helps you, all the better. So yeah, let me know your thoughts down in the comments about that. I'd love to hear from you guys on how you feel about this topic in general. And yeah, I'll be back for more. I'll be doing another one with an update, maybe in a week from today or something like that. So stay tuned for that. And until then, I look forward to seeing you. And goodbye. I don't know how to end these videos, so goodbye. Okay.